WhymsicalWyvern here. There we go. I stream weeknights on Twitch. And I moved my VODs to YouTube, which I didn't do this Sunday. So I guess I should have done that, but I didn't. All right. So, I have some experiments I kind of want to do here, but I'm probably going to switch to coloring pixels, but I'm not promising. Hi, Nameless. I'm doing well. How are you? I am still going to do coloring pixels probably, but I had something, I was doing some homework over the weekend and I wanted to see all right. I'm okay, slightly tired, but okay nonetheless. I'm sorry that you're tired. Let's see, which tool is it? Why can't I mark like all right, forget that. All right, is it in or farming? Okay, so what I want to do is get down here enough. It won't let me down a level like that. That drives me insane. Don't be sorry. I told you I'm fine. And that's what's important, isn't it? Yes. That is absolutely important. Maybe it's just not yet. Let's see. How many can we count? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't think it works that way. Aha! So how do I get there? Begin drag. That means it is possible. It is absolutely possible. I have got a green area for the first time. So I think I had to click it from this side. All right, let's see. So those little mice keys, they need a stairway down. I don't think they can use the scaffolding maybe. But let's see if we can get our farm tool. Where are we green? I want mushrooms. I want my farm tool. Besides, it's my fault if I'm tired because I forced myself to stay up for your stream. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I figured out a little bit what I'm doing here, but it's still not. It's showing me fertility. So will it let me mark a spot down there? My farm tool, no. See, this is driving me a little bit crazy. All right. I don't want to save it. I don't want to save it. I hate things that don't let you choose not to save, but I didn't do anything because it was on pause. All right. I think what I'm going to do. Oh no! Hold on, hold on, hold on. What the heck? It just lost chat. I've never had that happen before. It scared the crap out of me. All right. I was just trying to make it whiter so it was easier to read, and it erased it. Hello, Whimsy. It's this game. Well, I was going to switch to coloring pixels after, but I wanted to try an experiment, and I just checked, and I think I'm kind of on the right track. I have the oddest mix of food in my bowl right now, but it's so good. All right. So either I can try, I want to experiment the new game. Oh, wait. Or I'm just going to go straight to coloring pixels. Nameless, do you have any opinion? Because you have stayed up. You earn a badge. A loyalty badge. Ads over. Okay. So I have two directions I might go from here. Either I play with starting a new game because there's something I want to experiment. Well, three. I can keep playing, or I can switch over to coloring pixels now. Of course. Ah. Yeah, I'm going to switch them. Let's see. You say jump and I'll lie about doing it because you can't see me. Exactly. That should update. I just was trying to see something from a different angle and see if that made a difference on the game. Hello, Knight. You know, Whimsy, I heard you changed routines up. Yo, Knight. Did I? Actually, I'm just going to go get in this one. I kind of like the idea of doing all the brickwork. What was for dinner? Well, I'm eating dinner. I'm having, okay, it got a little weird. I made myself sesame noodles because I like them, but nobody else in my family really does. But I made them gluten-free because being gluten-free so much for the hedge, my stomach gets upset from it now, even though I don't have a gluten problem. So I did it with gluten-free noodles. And I just had gluten-free noodles in there with some chips because my stomach was a little upset and that was nice and bland. But then I made venison chili for them. Oh, it was so good. I poured it over the top of the noodles, and I tell you what, venison chili and sesame noodles with some chips on the side was meant to be. It is a match made in heaven. Ooh, I know. Oh my gosh, it's good. Mm. Anyway, I was worried about it because my recipe uses clove. And I realized when I was making it that I was out, but it still turned out really, really nice. It's the I don't know what. My kids fell in love with the Big Sky chili from the freezer section because obviously they're nowhere around here in a real way. When they were little, so I went because it was expensive. I went and I found a recipe for that, and I've been making that for years. I do other recipes, but that's what I chose to do with the venison. I thought it'd be really yummy, and you know what? Oh my gosh. Why did we ever do it with beef? Oh, it's really good. It's good with bison too. Don't think I have had venison. Very nice, yeah. Um, you know, since your venison-like looking creatures are probably more like kangaroo, it might. I've never tasted kangaroo, so I can't tell you if it'd be similar. But I mean, their faces look a lot alike. Their meat, their meat might taste similar. They bounce around and they forage, right? I don't know how to describe it. I mean, it doesn't taste like chicken. I'm normally too lazy to make chili. I heat up a can. They do, but there are deer where I live. Okay. Hmm. Probably somebody wanted to hunt them. Hydrate. Ooh. Kangaroo is very lean. Venison tends to be fairly lean as well. Pretty much, yep. But this had a mix of 3% beef in it to offset that. Okay, that drink is rocking. I tell you what. I feel positively splurged upon. I mean, I did it myself, but I have to lurk now. Okay, drink. Yep, I have well, I've been wanting to make vanilla extract, and I had already decided what I was going to make it with, probably. But I have to find the vanilla beans. I know you can order them online, but I like to, if I see them, I can see how fresh and nice they are and if they're worth it or not, because they can be expensive. So I'd read several places where they said what is really the best is the black rum for making vanilla extract, but I didn't have anywhere around me that sold it. And then I went to the store for something totally different, and I saw that they had the black rum in, and I was like, well, I've been wanting to check that out to see if I would like to use that for the vanilla extract. So I bought some and I brought it home and I tasted it. And I don't think it's nice for like everyday like drinking exactly, but it really does seem like it would be great for baking. So I put a little bit in my coffee and it's very nice. Boop. You laugh like Yoda when he is living on Dagobah. That does not bother me. I loved Yoda living on Dagobah. Interesting. Yeah. It's clearly like a higher proof. It definitely, I think the gold is more versatile in general, but for what I want to do, I think this will be better. So I'm glad that I had been willing to check it out. I mean, if I was gonna add something to my coffee, I'm not gonna lie, I'm more of a Jameson girl, but I just wanted to see kind of how it went flavor profile and stuff because I'm trying to decide. And then we'll probably use this now for baking. I got a really good deal. It was super cheap because it was on sale because they're trying to get people to try it. And I got a nice big bottle that will last us probably for years because that's how we'll use it, but we'll see. I don't drink coffee, but it is supposed to taste good with coconut oil in it. Yeah, that or butter. I drink butter coffee all the time. I used to put coconut oil in it. I kind of go back and forth on that. The butter, as it gets more cooler, can be. It's still not like slimy tasting when you have it. The coconut oil can cross that line. So, but bulletproof coffee. I definitely have been doing my own version of bulletproof coffee for decades. So, I will leave it that simple. Nice, yeah. I don't do it the way you're supposed to. Because I like the flavor and I figure if it's healthy, it's healthy. I'm not trying to do some weird thing with it. So I'll do butter. If I do coconut oil, I'll do the MCT oil specifically because it's more clarified and it won't get kludgy in there. I may or may not do some honey. I may or may not do some protein powder. It depends on the day. I usually still go ahead and put in milk or cream. Yeah. Look up bulletproof coffee. It's like this whole thing. but I don't do it that way. I was having some health issues when Hedge was a baby, and they wanted me to have more healthy fats, and I couldn't figure out how to eat more healthy fats. So I started putting them in my coffee so I could walk around literally drinking healthy fats to get back up to the level that they wanted. I still do that. Yep. Well, that's before that was really a thing, but yep. Basically, I always put in salt. I was supposed to have so much salt today, so much healthy fat, so much of these other things. And I'm like, I don't eat that much. How am I supposed to have all that food? I'll be like 800 pounds. So that was my solution. I figured out how to do it, all the things they were telling me to do in my coffee and make it taste good. I might add some chocolate depending that day or whatever, but I could generally get that regardless. And I got to a point where I didn't have to be under doctor supervision all the time anymore. So, yeah. I mean, it was with doctors. It wasn't like I just made it up. But the people who do bulletproof coffee, they do it for like bodybuilding or something, and it's a whole thing, and they're trying to be in ketosis or something. I don't object to that, but that wasn't my purpose, and I did it properly a few times, but it didn't get me to where the doctors wanted me to be. So now I feel pretty free to play around with it however I please, because it's my coffee. I can do what I want with it. That's my hot take. Yep. I mean, I know there are people who don't feel that way about it. They get really purist about stuff, but I mean, if the whole point is your health, then shouldn't it be for your individual health? There can be a general recommendation, but I'm not going to trust somebody on Reddit over, somebody who's actually seeing me in a medical way. Person on Reddit just trying to get upvotes, tell people what they think they want to hear. Yes, so hot. In the wrong crowd, it is a hot take. There are people who take their bulletproof coffees very seriously. It's like this whole thing, and I'm just like, why? It's coffee. It's not that serious. But what do I know? I'm just some kind of heathen, apparently. I think the guy who developed it was like trying to live forever or something weird like that. And it was about longevity, and then it got turned into a bodybuilding thing, and it cycles around. The truth is, it's just yummy. And I'm convinced that people, they just want to sound snobby about their coffee when they say they do it. But that is why I specify I don't do it, quote unquote, the way. I've done it with tea too, to be honest. Like a nice, lovely Irish breakfast or something. It's a nice switch up sometimes, but it is better with coffee. What do we know? We are not coffee snobs. I'm a coffee snob. But not that kind of coffee snob. You would never catch me at Starbucks. Their coffee's bitter and nasty. It's for people who care about the experience and want to fill it with all kinds of other flavors. It's not for people who really like coffee. But I only have like 2 brands I'll have of the coffee. Because I enjoy a good, yummy, lovely coffee. I take it very seriously. I don't want to waste my money on something that doesn't taste good. Whimsy, the coffee snob. Yep. It's partly because I'm cheap. I realized and partly because I like good coffee. If I'm going to spend money on it, I want to enjoy it. But, oops, I went beyond where I wanted to. Whoopsie daisy. Wasn't paying attention to my pattern. Anyway, when I realized that fresh grinding it, I could have a much nicer coffee for cheaper per pound price than the already ground up stuff. And that, yeah, I was like, why would I do it any other way? What do you mean, am I supposed to see something? It's just chatting, yeah. You're fine. I don't drink coffee much, so I don't know if you are getting just straight black coffee. It's often not bad. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I think I don't ever hate it, but if I'm going to spend the money on it, like if somebody hands me a cup of coffee, I'm not going to complain. I'll drink it. I mean, as long as it's not poisoned or something, right? But yes, if I'm going to pay for it, I want it to taste good. I want it to be worth the money. I want good value. But I drink it because I like it. I'm not like some people are like, I just need the caffeine. The caffeine, if anything, makes me sleepy. I'm broken. It does not tend to make me awake or aware or focused or these other things that I hear people talking about. So my priorities are different, I guess. I just like how it tastes. But if I'm not paying for it, I'm not going to be picky about it. I'll drink it. I'm not going to be snobby about it. I'll be like, oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I've had that. I was just wondering what it was. If you ever find out, tell me. What, fresh ground coffee? Oh, yeah. I was told ages ago that it tends to go with ADHD, but then I was told I don't have ADHD. I think it's just that it's how your body chemically processes it. So it's probably more likely to make you sleepy or to make you awake and aware. For me, it tends to make me more sleepy. So I love to have a cup of coffee in the evening before bed to chill and calm down for the evening. I've been doing it since I was in high school. Yeah, it makes me it won't make me sleepy if I'm not already tired, but if I'm getting tired, yeah. It it works for me. Like I sit here and I sip coffee during the stream and I enjoy my time with you guys and then I get off the stream and there are times when I just go lay straight down and go to sleep. Sometimes I'm awake for a little bit. It doesn't ever make me tired if I'm not tired yet. But if I am tired, it just helps me kind of calm down and stop my brain and um, relax into sleep faster, which is not what people describe about needing their coffee in the morning before they make sense. So, interesting, yeah. I use chamomile tea like that sometimes too. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I like the taste of coffee better. I'm sure chamomile tea is healthier. For me, it can be both. No idea why it does one or the other. I mean, it's just what it triggers in your body, probably. Maybe what it's really doing is helping you focus. So if you're closer to being awake, it helps perk you up and wake you up. And if you're closer to being asleep, it helps you fall asleep. That would make sense to me. I mean, I have zero medical expertise whatsoever, but that would make sense to me, just in a common sense way. I don't think so. Well, maybe it does the opposite of what you want. I don't know. I've had coworkers that have like diagnosed ADHD and they swear by some caffeine to help them focus on their jobs and do a good job. To the point that if they realize they forgot it, they'll take a break and go drive out to get some caffeine to come back so that they can have a more productive work day. But I don't know how much of that is in their heads. I know what I want and it does the opposite. That sounds like it. Never heard that before. I don't know. Even if it is just in their heads, if it works, that's just it. If it's placebo, what does it matter? If it's the difference between functioning in a workplace and not functioning in a workplace, and I have to work with them, I would rather they function. I don't really care if it's a placebo effect. I mean, this is the thing. I get the idea, but in general, I mean, isn't the goal to be able to function in society? So, I probably look at it different because of my kids, but whatever. I think this must be the banner thingy. Yeah, it must be. Also, saying that you are going for a coffee break is culturally acceptable. It is, but I don't think any of them has ever said they're going for a coffee break. They just say, oh, I forgot my caffeine. I'll be back in 15 minutes. Something. They gotta run to where they can get something. Mm. I know, though, that when my little brother used to smoke, that was the biggest reason. He would need to take a break and get outside from the place ever so often just to function and do good and stay focused. It was socially acceptable to do it if you smoked, but not if you didn't smoke. So ultimately, he ended up smoking. He did kick that habit probably 10 plus years ago. It's been a long time now. But that's how he got through his 20s, because he needed that escape from humans for a little bit every day in his workday, and that was the only way that it was socially acceptable. And he didn't want to like put a target on his back. Now, how much he needed to do that, I don't know. But of course, there's a level of excuses. But I do think there's a thing to that. Sometimes people just want a break to go out. And it is pretty weird that only smokers get to go do that regularly. And everybody else has different rules. So I get it. I didn't like, I wasn't happy about it because, you know, he was asthmatic and everything and allergic to cigarette smoke. So I was like, this has got to be the worst idea you've ever had. But it was his life and he was an adult, you know? Not like I could stop him. But he wanted to be there forever for his kids. That stopped him. He's a good dad. Gosh, he's a good grandpa now, too. Let's not say what we did. Say that we did. I see. He's a good man and a good brother. Honestly, that's what's so awesome about growing up. You know, I think it's sad with younger people who do everything online. And I know people wax on about this way too much, but like being able to make your mistakes and learn from them and move on, that's a beautiful thing. You know, everybody should be allowed to be young and dumb and learn and become better human beings. I think that's awesome, but when they're encouraged to put every little mistake online, oh my gosh. It must be so horrible. Maybe doll.
Not streaming the game.
Nobody said anything. This makes so much sense. He was like, I thought this was just chatting. Now I understand. Well, crud. Kiddo, you're the best.
I came in to you for comfort.
Okay, what happened?
Suna had to be saved from a poopy butt.
Oh no!
It was really bad. It stuck to him.
Oh no!
We did save him. but it just traumatized me a little bit. I did not want to save him from his poopy butt. In that I did not want to touch it, even through the wipe.
Ugh. I'm glad that you guys love him enough to help him.
He doesn't. He's not.
Yeah, he doesn't want anybody touching his butt ever.
He's like, you have violated me.
If he hadn't been with us from the time he was such a tiny kitten, I would honestly think something had happened to his butt. But I know for a fact nothing did. It's just a him thing.
He's like, how dare you violate me? No, no, no.
Yeah, I know, he's so funny. It's like, dude, you're just gonna go around running around crying from your own butt. That's not gonna work. The internet is forever. Let's not space and say that we did. That's exactly it.
I love you. I'm gonna go now. I needed comfort.
Okay.
Saving him from himself.
I'm glad the top of my headphones gave you great comfort.
I did your shoulders.
I know, you actually almost touched something that touched my skin. That's amazing. I love you.
No, you too.
Well, nobody will believe I really did those other parts because it's not forever on the internet. Oh well. I know a cat like that, but it is its stomach. Well, I think, yeah. I just pressed something on the computer. I hope it didn't do anything weird. It's so funny. All of ours like to have their bellies rubbed. I think they're broken. I don't know. I think it's sweet. But I've been told that cats don't like that kind of thing. That's part of why we call them puppies too. I mean, it started as a joke. It is a joke, but there we go. See? It's a night kneeling before this window or object. This looks like castle or church walls and banners. Let's see what it's called. Reverence. Honestly, until you finish these things, you never really know. That's why I thought you'd think it was funny that I was working on it, but you couldn't even see it. Oh my goodness. I went to the butcher today and I asked for help cutting up the meat. And they said that'll cost more. And I said, okay. And I said I'd been struggling. I'd never really had trouble before, but the way that they do their chicken quarters, I'd been struggling with the spines. And he goes, there's no spines in the chicken quarters. I said, okay. He says, that'll be extra, but we'll cut them apart for you. I said, thank you. So he came back and he goes, well, out of 6 chicken quarters, 3 of them had spines. Said, so I did separate those out from the legs and the thighs. And I said, thank you so much. That was so sweet. And then I got to the checkout and I found out that they didn't charge me for that because what I had said was true. So they'll probably just fix it. But it makes such good chicken stock, it didn't bother me. But I could not, like, I can break down a whole chicken. I can break down the parts. But the quarter chicken, the way they were doing it, it just, I was like, do I just know how to do this anymore? What the heck? What is it? I was just thinking about asking what was on the preview window more than once. I can just imagine you doing that sounding like a sad beaten puppy. No, it's just like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna end up cutting off a finger or something because it's really hard to get a grip on the quarter chicken the way they were doing it. And I just thought I was stupid. And, because, like, how could it be easier to break down a whole chicken, but I couldn't get, like, a grip on it? But then he came out, he's like, no, I could, yeah. He took a lot longer with them than he expected to, and he made sure it was so sweet because he could have just let me think I was completely stupid. Instead, he's like, yeah, no, that was a problem. I was like, okay, thank you. I do appreciate that. But I was just like, yep, I'm an idiot, I guess. Just please help me, or I'm gonna end up cutting off my fingers. And I think whoever's been cutting them is probably gonna get in a little bit of trouble, and they'll fix it because it's like a family business. But um, I was still grateful, and I got extra chicken because of that. Cheap and cheap, cheap, cheap. I got no complaints from that. And it makes such good chicken stock. So I don't mind those little like backbones and stuff at all. I'm honestly not a big chicken person for the meat, but there's more local than not, and you can tell. It just doesn't even look like the stuff that's in the grocery store. And it's way cheaper. I know a lot of farmers that use them, so I was like, well, yummier and tastes better. I mean, this is, not a hard sell. Yeah, I've not been such a fan of chicken recently, not sure why. Well, let me put it this way. Okay. So I didn't used to mind it so much. Then I got to where I positively hated it. But I know how my chickens live, and frankly, I know how they look when they die. And by the time I'm done with them, they're not something that you want to be eating. I'm going to be really blunt. But I know what their skin looks like and so on from living a healthy outdoors life where you really have access to forage and so on. And this was particularly noticeable because right afterwards I had to run for milk to the regular store, which was just down the street, because I didn't want to have to go back into town for shopping for that tomorrow. So, ow, I think I just got a burr. Anyway, so we went in and we had to go past the butcher and the grocery in order to get to the milk. And it's just literally a different color. It's sick looking. It's dry looking. It doesn't look right. And I'm going, yeah, okay. It's not just because I'm being snobby about it. It just does not look appetizing. I don't know what the heck they're doing to it, but it does not look like it come from a healthy, happy chicken at the very least. And and it cost more. That's the thing. Like, I can understand if you're trying to save money and at least it's protein, right? But no, it cost more than when I went to the place where they're just getting stuff from local farmers. But it was like dry and it was the wrong color. And then they had special lights on it that were colored lights above it, trying to make it look like it was a better, more appealing color. And that just kind of made it worse. I don't think it's just in your head. I mean, I know people say, "Oh, it's just American food that's messed up," but I don't think so. I think it's the food supply in general. There's some stuff going on. I'm not trying to be all conspiracy. I mean, I'm just saying literally I live by farms and stuff. I see what things look like with the animals and so on, and there's just a way that the meat should look if the animal was healthy. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. And I think if you count on drugs and stuff to keep it perfectly healthy, it's not the same as just letting it be outside and roam around and be healthy. We have wild chickens in Florida. There is no reason to have to keep them locked up. It, not just in your head, yeah. I don't know. I mean, they literally can be wild here. And yes, predators would get some, and that would be a problem if they're really loose. But at the same time, disease gets them when they're all locked up. I have to think that if you do it smart, letting them be outside more has to be a better production model over time. It's that whole fixing the books so that this is in this column and that's in that column so it looks cheaper, but I have trouble believing that it really would be. Yeah. Because in order to make it quote unquote humane, they've got to have all these special fans and all this and all that. But someone who's done it that way has never seen the offset. They're like, well, yeah, but they can't be gotten by wild animals and this, that, and the other. But I've done it the other way. And I know a lot of people who have 100 plus chickens at a time outside. I don't know. Maybe it's because when you have people who do the books and look at it on paper, it comes out different than actual reality. You have to be educated enough to think that that'll work better. Actual experience isn't useful there. That's all I can figure. And I'm not saying education doesn't have anything to offer for farming. I'm just, at some point, you're not in a lab. You're in reality. You're out on fields and you cannot control all circumstances. So at that point, what happens in the field is relevant. Well, it's true. Yeah. Advances have been made through science for farming. I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying when you get to the point where you discount the daily experience of actual people on their farms as relevant information because it's not done in a lab, you cease to have an important source of information. Nothing you do in that lab can duplicate them doing it every day from before they wake up, before the sun comes up, to after the sun goes down. Every day, 365. That has a value as well. And it just does get discounted, I think, quite a bit in modern figuring. So you don't get it. You don't get this treasure we could have of combining what you learned in some environments with what you've learned in others and finding the best of both. I mean, that's really the ideal, I would think. It's a missed opportunity. They forget the advantages of direct observation. Absolutely. It's important to see, okay, with no other factors, and we've controlled this, this, and this. This is how this goes. That's useful information. But then, okay, the reality is, in the real world, you're going to have these X number of factors happen that change it. It might be this, it might be A, it might be B, it might be C. How the multitude of factors together impact the reality of how the results happen, that's valuable information too. If you really want a whole picture, you can't have it without that information. Or they don't take into account environments. So what we run into a lot here is we'll get all this advice where they figure it out in some place like Oregon, and then they tell us that they've scaled it for our temperature and humidity. They've not done any of it here. They have no idea what works or what doesn't, or their advice would work more often. I think that is a thing for farming with plants, that it really is really doing it. Yeah, absolutely. They pretty much ignore anything other than the big things like pH. They have like where they tell you your planting area is, your zone. Um, but like those zones don't really work well in Florida. So then you have all these books on how to take the information from the zones and actually use it in a useful way. Whole YouTube channels about it and when to ignore it and when to pay attention to it. And for example, there's things like they'll list a plant. I'll pick a simple one as a full sun plant, like a little flower or something. And they're telling you it can grow in your zone, and if you grow it, it should be in full sun. Okay, now somebody moves to Florida, they're looking at this. Okay, they plant it in full sun. The thing fries in like 2 days because it can't do our sun because we're close to the equator. Micronutrients is almost entirely ignored. Yeah, I used to do a lot of companion gardening where one plant would feed the other, so they would like fertilize each other. I love that. That is awesome. The problem is a lot of times one takes one level of moisture and another takes another level of moisture, and that's where it gets to be really finicky. But yeah, a lot of our full to partial shade plants are full sun plants up north. And they just don't take into account that we're subtropical. So it's not just about temperature and weather, it's also about our vicinity to literally the sun. But I should imagine there's areas like that in Australia where they don't remember to look at that kind of thing. Well, that's going to be pretty. Really should have been more careful. I have had plants shrivel in a day. I used to go in to the plant stores when I was younger and I didn't have any money, and I'd be like, "Can I have your dead plants?" And in those days, they'd give them to me. And then I would try to bring them back to life. And if it only worked on, say, 1 out of 5 or something, even, those were free plants. Sometimes they'd charge me like $1 or something to walk away with them, just so they had a record in the register of them leaving the building. But they stopped letting people do that. But I sat there. I might come home and I get none. I've come home other times and I got some of the most beautiful herbs and the nicest variety. And I didn't care. I was willing to play with them, but they couldn't sell them anymore. So that's why they were, taken off the shelf, because they were old and scraggly and didn't look like they would grow. When you're young and poor, you gotta have some ingenuity if you want to do special stuff. 1 out of 5 for free stuff is still a deal. That's what I'm saying. Even if I had 1 out of 100, if I came home and I was willing to try, I mean, what does it hurt? You give them some water, give them some dirt. I didn't even buy them special dirt or anything. I just plant them in the garden or in some pre-established areas. I did learn that I needed to keep them quarantined somewhat at first while I nursed them. Because then they could mess up the rest of my garden if they had like a disease or something. But yeah, I got a really nice herb garden going at one point that looked like I spent way more money, but what I gave it was time. Disease, well, it's a thing. It's funny for plants. Well, I mean, I guess. Anyway, it made me happy. Incoming ad break, by the way. It never hits when it says it will, so I don't know what to tell you. But ads are coming. Apparently, the content creator doesn't need real accurate up to the moment information on that kind of thing. That would just make it too easy to work with you guys. All right. Okay, I'm gonna say this rum is definitely more zingy as I get to the bottom of the cup. I had used a spoon to mix it in, but apparently it settled at the bottom. It is definitely in concentration down there. But it's nice. Don't know how I feel about that. I think Jameson's nicer in coffee, though. I'm going to stick with that. Maybe I'm a loyalist. I don't know. But if someone offered me this, I'd probably go, sure. People have been complaining about YouTube not letting the creator choose where the ads are, and here Twitch is not telling you when they come. I'm so over it. I'm really tired of it. I have been a big advocate for, hey, they are providing the platform and blah blah blah, and of course they have to make their money. But they're trying to make it so that the creators can't make money. And without us, they don't have a platform. I'm really getting frustrated with the fact that they want to focus on bigger people. They don't want to help smaller people get bigger. And I think the one that ticks me off the most, I was spouting off about it again today, is when they demonetize people and then they show even more ads on their content. Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'm not against the idea of ads at all, but to greatly increase the ads but greatly reduce our share of said ads, they wouldn't, they're ticking off the people that come to watch me. And then those people are like, oh, well, at least she's making some money off of this. And realistically, no, not really anymore. It was more money even when I first started, but I'm lucky if it's 50 cents to $1 by the end of the month. That, welcome back. Anyway, all I was saying is, even when I first started, there was a bigger share of the ads and there was less ads. And they rolled this out, and it doesn't really make me money. And they're taking advantage of my people that are coming here to watch me. And that does not feel good as a creator. Like, nobody's out there going, ooh, I really want to support Twitch, so I'm going to donate money to this individual streamer and watch them. They would just get the big overall Twitch thing. Exactly, yeah. Hi.
Happy. He's very distressed, but he doesn't need a body. I thought maybe human would be happy.
Okay.
I don't know what he wants.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you care about him.
I don't like it when the little guy's distressed.
Where's your sister?
Just came out of the bathroom, just having dinner.
Okay.
And since his problem seems to be tummy related, I thought I would be nice to not request cheese dog for dinner.
No. That's fine. I'm with him. We want her ready to stream later. I don't know. Is she doing that hightail again tonight? Love you. You're welcome. I don't know. I missed her last stream. There are a number of people who get their videos restricted and then get unrestricted, but they don't get the money that YouTube got from them. Exactly. They'll restrict you. Heck. This even happened like, oh gosh. I guess the Minecraft movie had paid people to specifically react to and review to the movie. And those people did, and then they all got copyrighted for the first 48 hours, and then it was released. So, none of them were getting the monetization from doing what they'd actually been requested to do directly from Minecraft, the Minecraft movie. Because they got copyrighted. And none of them were happy about that. Yeah. Well, it was the movie, but yeah. That sounds like something they should be sued for. Well, they were threatened with being sued, and that's why they released it after 48 hours. But by then, you're not making the new income. Everybody who wanted to go see the reactions to the new movie had done so. It's not that there's no income past that point, but there's the big income is in that first, on something like that in that initial amount of days. And they were arguing that they should receive the money from those first days. And it's like, oh, we'll talk, but, we let you off the copyright for now, so you should be happy. It's not right. And if YouTube had the back of its people, it wouldn't let things like that happen. But, it does. They misread that they put AM rather than PM on the contract. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I heard about that too. Forget who it is, but she was not a small streamer. No. But if it's a contract and that's part of it, I think that's a little fuzzier. Although if the company doesn't want a black eye with the public, and this is about publicity, there is a place for not getting bad self-image. I mean, if the whole point is good self-image. But at the same time, I would see them not wanting people to accidentally mess that up in the future. So I can kind of see both sides on that. But it did feel pretty nasty. Because you forgive one person and it's like there's going to be people who take advantage of that. Place for groveling and begging for forgiveness, you mean? No, I mean... They could have come out and said, you know what? We can hold you to your contract. We will in future. We are going to make very clear to anybody in the future that they know this. But your mistake did not seem intentional. You got us X amount of publicity. We are grateful. Maybe we give you a reduced amount or something. It shouldn't be none. But the streamer shouldn't have to grovel for that. Because honestly, if this is about the company getting a good image, then there should be somebody at the company smart enough to realize the kind of audience that follows a streamer is much more personal, and if they want that kind of loyalty, they have to treat people right, not just spit on them and go, oh well, you'll forget tomorrow. Gamers can have some very long memories. They are the ones who messed up. The streamer started exactly on time what the contract said. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Then yeah, they need to just apologize. And fix it. Reimburse. And again, possibly with damages and with somewhat of a public apology. I just don't think they're going with like all these marketing students and stuff telling them what to do, but I don't think they really understand who they're trying to recruit and sell things to. Just like, I don't know about you, but if I have a game that's spamming me with constant commercials, even if I was interested at first, I refuse to play it. Because I'm going, any game that has this much money for commercials to bombard me everywhere, they're going to get that money out of me somewhere else. And I play games to enjoy or have fun. I'm not sitting here trying to be just like a money farm for them. They didn't just hurt the game, but also hurt the company in general with that one. Absolutely. Yes, the company needs to grovel. They understand, they just don't care. Yep. I don't think they do fully understand, but I do believe they don't care. That's part of why they don't understand. I really don't think they understand. They're still trying to market. Okay, this has been a problem since I was younger, and I would sit there and complain that none of the TV was for people my age that we liked or were interested in. It was all aimed at the baby boomers. And I mean the OG baby boomers, like the ones that, post World War II babies, okay? And then I was so happy when the internet came out because I was like, okay, now we can vote and they'll see what we want. And as those guys die out, they're going to want some of our money. They're going to care. But instead, they got this idea that, no, they'll just limit whatever we can have access to, and we'll give in because we'll want TV so bad that we'll do whatever they say. And so, like, I don't think I've watched regular TV, and it's been decades. And I go get my content how I want, where I want. And, like, I love Drama Fever. Warner Brothers felt like they were competition and pulling people away from them. They bought Drama Fever and put them out of business. They didn't, like, do anything with it. They just tried to get rid of the competition. And this is a concept that it just gets worse. That they don't understand because they don't care. Yeah, they don't understand because they honestly believe that if they only provide you with one option, you won't have another option. But there is no way for them to force you to only have one option. I mean, they try and try. It's not going to work. Because, I mean, if people my age didn't feel stuck with the TV, certainly younger people don't feel stuck with it. They feel free to go watch what they want. They'll go find it. You do not have to be tied in to what is provided. Copyright law needs to be overhauled. I agree. Honestly, I don't even understand quite where they're going with some of it. I I think as much as anything, it's greed from things like YouTube. I think at some point, I would not be surprised to find out that they get some kickbacks from these weird little Brazilian companies and stuff that go on and copyright out of Nigeria and Brazil and so on. They have to know. When people put original pieces, the two set, they were Australian. We watched a lot of their stuff, and they just basically got pushed off the internet and couldn't do their original stuff anymore at all because they were getting copyrighted so much. And YouTube didn't care. So they took some really successful streamers and content creators and just let them be largely pushed off the platform. I know they're doing other stuff now, but I like their old content. I don't really care for their new stuff as much, but I get why they switched it up. They go after the music ones so bad. When anybody can take your stuff that you came up with and copyright claim you from it when you have proof that it's your original material, and the only way is to give them all of your personal private information to fight it, that's why a lot of YouTubers won't fight. Because we have to give them all of our name and personal information and everything in order to put in a claim. Which is why I avoid being in a situation where I would have to do a copy claim. What's the point of VTubing if I have to give them that information to have a claim? And even a video that gets hit, they still get a cut at the least. I don't know. It depends. All I know is I feel like the original laws about crediting and so on were sufficient. The issue was that they were not uniform across international places. So, for example, you had places putting out, especially after the internet, this became an issue, but they'd have video cassettes or whatever of a movie before it even came out in the big screen in a bunch of the Asian countries. And this was a huge problem when people could just go pirate it before it even came out. But that isn't even vaguely what's going on with this other stuff. They use that as an excuse to just, I don't even know what for or five. I don't know. I wonder how hard it would be to get the law firm to put their name rather than the VTuber. There's things that can be done, but again, you have to pay a law firm. Like, how am I going to do that? Even the ones with hi Gore, welcome. Copyright laws stance can be so easily exploited that it's difficult to walk around what is okay and what isn't. It's so confusing. Also, hello. Have to have the money. I don't think the law itself is so confusing. It's the way that YouTube and Twitch and so on choose to enforce it. In the actual law, they're supposed to prove a claim. And it assumes that the person who is doing the content, legitimately, it was their content. The other people have to prove it wasn't that person's content. However, YouTube assumes that the person who makes the claim is automatically correct. That isn't actually the way the law is written, but nobody's enforcing it the way it's written, and that becomes an issue as well. So it should be like you could have 15 seconds, or you can change the key, or you can do, there's things you can do. This is why parody is okay. But if they could turn around and look at privacy laws or tax issues or so on and specify those to specific countries, you can't tell me that they can't enforce copyright more specifically and clearly to do with those countries' laws. They just don't want to. Because like I said, how much do you want to bet they get a cut every time? YouTube and Twitch specifically are horrible with it. Absolutely. Have you been, Gore? I expect to see you more in winter. You must be having quite a winter. Busy, busy, busy. I thought summer was your busy time. That being said, what they really want is they don't want people to have that level of anonymity, and that's part of what makes the internet work is the anonymity. And it's it gives a freedom that frankly they don't want people to have. I'm all right. Lots of snow up here and trees falling down that need removing. Been tired. How have you guys been? We've had an unusually large amount of wind lately. We had trees down too. All over the place. Probably because we didn't have as much hurricane-y stuff this year. I'm really happy that Asmon is going to do something about some of it. I think now that he's done addressing with his dad, and he's also really unhappy that they are putting people in positions to be assaulted in public events. Yeah, I'm glad he's going to put his name behind fixing some of that. I don't know how successful he'll be, but if anybody has the money and the time. He's got to find his new normal. I've heard some breaking news that snow is still deadly to Floridians. It is. It is. W. Asman. Yeah. Did you see that new Leaflet video? I saw Leaflet reacting to Asman reacting to her video. It was so cute. I don't have time to watch a lot of her stuff, and I already have more content creators than I can keep up with right now, but it was really cute. I'm glad I clicked on it. Thing is, he is also very mild. Peak internet. I have not seen it. She's gotten into, I guess, making AI music videos, and she works really hard on them. And she did one about Asmongold, and he reacted to it, and she just could not believe it. She was just so excited and could not wait to see, did he catch this? Did he catch that? Did he see this? He saw that I did blah, blah, blah. It was really sweet because she'd worked so hard on it, and she said she was trying to please him specifically. So she was really pleased that he saw it. Oh my gosh. I have not seen it. You wouldn't know it, but apparently Aspen is popular in the VTubing community. I was surprised to learn. I see why. I think I have my theories. I personally could give or take him somewhat in the past. I mean, I didn't object to him at all, but I would watch his occasional thing, but I didn't sit down and watch his streams, which I still won't actually. But the thing is, he's just very common sense. And I think a lot of people that end up VTubing, it's partly because they just want normal, common sense stuff. They don't want the drama the same way. And while he covers drama, I think he's been the most fair about that with the VTubing community. Yeah. I have a plan eventually for something, not exactly AI, but close enough that I can see it sort of being lumped in. But I think he doesn't realize how many people in the VTubing community like him. I think a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, he wasn't even aware of the VTubing community for the most part, but they were aware of him because they felt like he was out there, he was saying what he wanted, he wasn't letting people bully him around with marketing or this or that. He just was himself. And that's the beauty of VTubing. I mean, that's one of the things I love. You can just be yourself. You're able to just do what matters to you. If you want to do drama, do drama. You want to do slop, do slop. You want to do, video games, you can do video games. And I think he wasn't, I don't know. I don't think I'm explaining it well. I don't know. He's not common sense, but the world is so crazy. He seems very sane. I think he is common sense, but I think he's common sense in a very spectrumy way. And he is starting to get it. I don't think that he is the most educated on every issue, but not only does he think things through very thoroughly, he explains his thought process. So if there is a big flaw in his thoughts, he's really looking at chat to see their reaction. And yeah, down to earth might be a better way of describing, but just he goes by what he has seen in the world. Now, he's seen some weird stuff and he's had some tough times in his life, so that impacts his opinions and they can be jaded, and I am certainly not like down with him on some of his views, but I respect that he's come about them honestly and he shares what he really thinks, and when he sees that he's wrong, he embraces that and admits it and is like, "Yep, I learned." I think that is far more refreshing. I will take that any day of the week over someone who just always knows they're right no matter what and isn't open to that discourse. The explaining is what I think helps. I think it absolutely does. Because when he explains, you can be like, "Oh, that's why you think that. Ah, you haven't had this life experience happen yet." Or you've never had this happen to you. Or you grew up in this area, but in this area, it's really like blah, blah, blah. By giving context, it makes it far more relatable and able to see whether what he's saying has any application to you or not. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. I have certainly seen things where he did not necessarily know as much about a topic as he thought he knew. But when people in chat come out and go blah blah blah, he goes and instantly looks it up. He's willing to correct on the spot. And I guess I feel that is far more interesting to me than somebody who would always be in agreement with me. It challenges my thoughts. I like that. Yeah. Like I said, I don't sit down. I think I love Asmongold's editor more than Asmongold even half the time. I'm gonna be honest. I love his editor. He has more than one, but the one who comes on and does the remarks. And I like that his editor will come on and say things like, "He is forgiving of this. I am not. You're wrong. You should not treat Asmon like that. He's never been like that to you." And he'll just stick these little commentaries in there. And I like that. I like knowing that he's in a vulnerable place in his life right now and he's easygoing and he just wants to kind of get along and have a good vibe with everybody. But he has people around him that are going, Yeah, he just lost his dad and he's in a weak place. And you're going to come after him right now for this. And he's going to be forgiving. But guess what? I'm not. I'm paying attention. And I'm looking at who you are. I, I'm glad that he has people around him like that. That is not something you pay for. That is somebody who's truly loyal to you. And that is valuable. Having chat to keep you in check is good until you rely upon their reactions to shape certain opinions, I think. Most times I listen, he seems genuine. Absolutely. He probably has a younger viewpoint too, so it comes off more brash. Absolutely. Um, that is 100% true. But the way he checks, he doesn't just say yes to chat or no to chat. He asks for a source and he goes, looks it up live online and looks at the source information on the spot. And then he'll either say, I'll consider it, or I'll look at it further, or he responds. And he's like, oh, I was wrong about blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's the wrong place. Now, if they said, it's really like this, and he goes, oh, if you say so, I would feel differently. But that's not how he does it that I've seen. Now, mind you, he has like 8-10 hour streams sometimes. I don't watch his streams. I watch the clips from his streams, but I watch them from his clips editor or his own stuff that he's chosen to clip. I just have too much of my own life to watch that. But it definitely comes across more brash. I think he's far more still in like the Bernie bro camp. Um I don't think he's a particularly political person. He keeps getting accused of being political. He's just trying to learn about the world around him and use the advantage of his position with access to all these people all around the world to figure out what's what. And I mean, recognizing your audience as a treasure, but also fact checking them on the spot is a pretty good balance to come up with useful viewpoints. A 10-hour stream can get him going, really? Okay, true. Yeah, he definitely, you can tell when he's at the end of a stream. But let's be honest, it shows when people are at the end of a stream, and the longer the stream, the more it shows. I'm well aware of this. I'm not throwing hate at anybody for that. If they're like getting that exhausted look and they're just trying to come to a clean stopping point, bless them for not just saying, I gotta go, bye. It's harder than it looks. Yeah. Okay. My phone is blowing up and I'm refusing to answer. All right. Later, losers. I do know a few people who do that. Yeah, I mean, there's always also, and it does make for it cleaner, the people who just automatically raid every single time to finish their stream, which I kind of low key appreciate. I'm worried he might have to potty again. Anyway, like if I'm lurking and I'm doing something and I don't want to have to go switch it to something, having the streamer automatically switch me to someone else is nice. And having them really respect a very clear schedule has a niceness if you know that's how that's going to go. There are people I've gone to just for that. As just background noise, like I'm not paying attention exactly, but it's nice. But it's just, there is a point in the stream where it becomes gibberish. And people are like, oh, I'm done, bye. It can feel kind of harsh from this end, from the listening end. So I try not to do that, but then I have trouble having a clean goodbye because I just sit there going, I want a nice, neat goodbye, and I don't see who's reacting when or how. So I'll start, and then somebody who's, maybe lagging comes in response to something I said 5 minutes ago, and I'm trying to get it all together to get out of there, and then you guys are going, go away, go, go, go. So I clearly don't have a good hang on my ending either. But it's an art. I'll get better. I think I've gotten better. I will get better. But you can tell when he's hit that point. Definitely. I've seen him a few times at the tag end, and it's like, yeah. You see it in the eyes, that starting to glaze over, clouded look. And when your brain is just smushed, realizing it is a good stopping spot is harder. Absolutely. I 100% agree. I don't know why streaming makes you so mushy brained. Maybe because you're focusing on so many different things at once. But it definitely is far more taxing than it looks or sounds. Brain mush is the worst mush. Ah, it puts you to sleep, Gore. Every night. It just sticks you to sleep. No problem. Pretty much, yeah. I find it very relaxing. In its own way. But I do try not to go to the point that I'm a babbling idiot. And I know I've crossed that line at least a few times. Ah. Knowing is half the problem. Mashed potatoes are good mush. Ooh, I should see if I can find a clip of Jolly explaining it. Yeah, I think that's a different Jolly. I've watched Jolly the Food People, but I think you said it was a different person. There we go. How's that night? Is that looking more like something? Yeah, different Jolly. You're our favorite baffling idiot, Wyvern. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. So, Gore, how we feel about venison? Knight's never had it. Does look more like something. Yeah. Yep, that's going to be a knight. I think you can see it. Let's see if we can, like, you can tell that's going to be like a hand, an arm on the sword. And this hand is down. And that's like the helm and I think. Still needs the center for me to decide if I like it. This is turning out nice though. Okay, I'll do the center. Hold on. I like to do the center last, but how about I do the knight last today? I'm not going to do the whole thing today, by the way. But I mean, I'll start here and work down. Okay, winged man with candy cane in front of Willy Wonka's window. That's my guess. Very good. And the pink elephants are on parade. Yeah, I might need to make this a little bigger. Anyway, if you ever get the chance to have venison, I do recommend it, but I don't know if you would like it. I guess it matters if you like more wild meats. I don't know what would be the equivalent in Australia. Maybe someday. Yeah. The worst tasting medicine usually helps the most. What do you mean? Gore, do you not like venison? No. Isn't that like against some kind of Canadian law? I don't mind wild meat so far. I'm less fond of like wild boar, for example. It's not bad, but I don't think it's all that. For all the effort to get it, I don't know. I'm not sold. But I have eaten it when been given it. Oh man, I can't believe it. Breaded fatina, that's more my shindig. Oh my goodness. Well, I made venison chili and I think it was perfect and delicious. And I'm eating it right now in a weird fusion because I had originally made myself sesame noodles and I don't know why chili isn't served with sesame noodles more. Except that that would be weird. What is fatina? Sacrilege. It's not venison chili. Breaded veal, usually baked with cheese and sauce on top, but I like mine plain with salt. I mean, veal's nice. I just usually don't go for breaded stuff in that way. Does not sound bad. You'd probably really like it, night. I'm just gonna be really honest. Anything breaded becomes a pain in the butt to do around here, so I just often don't. And now it feels kind of heavy to me. That doesn't mean it really is. When it's cooked really nice, it's not like a super heavy thing, but I don't know. You got to be in the mood, and then it is perfection. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to say I'm probably more of a eggplant parmesan kind of gal. I love eggplant parmesan, and every time I get offered something else like that, I end up thinking, "Oh, that looks so good. I know it tastes so good," but I always give in to go for the eggplant parmesan. It's I do like what Italians do with eggplant. What can I say? Okay, that sounds really weird. With regards to food. Hi, honey bunny.
She came in to inform you that she's been enjoying the feeling of nice warm
Nice warm what?
socks.
Oh, you mean she cuddled in my clean laundry that I had just hung out to dry?
No, mine.
Oh, yours. Okay. Even better.
By the way, here's that information at Google.
Does not sound bad. That might not be how you spell it. Definitely Google it and look at it. Very appetizing. Ah, why do laundry with furry things in the house? I mean, clean clothes sound so nice, but sometimes I question my decisions. I did not realize if you had said nothing, I would not have noticed. Ah, fair enough. So I guess this is gonna be more like sunshiny, maybe? I mean, it definitely feels kind of churchy, but obviously they didn't want to go with genuinely churchy. Patina Panada, my bad. I'll post some pics in Discord here in a minute. Fair enough. Hakuna Matata it is. Sorry. I would post you pictures of my dinner, but it's gone. They should have gone churchy. It would make sense. Made. I know that a lot of games they just want it to be a little more neutral so it can apply more generally. So even if they made it more specifically church-like, well then are they going to go more Catholic, more Renaissance, more Anglican? There are different looks to those things. I think keeping it general keeps it nice, and if there's a place for it, it's just a simple, basic coloring pixels game. I mean, I think keeping something like this more general does make sense. But I also get what you're saying. I mean, it looks more medieval, and I mean, the Crusades were a thing, certainly kneeling using your sword as a cross was very medieval, and yeah. Anglican looks boring. So you want like a super detailed, like orthodoxy thing. That could be cool. I'm just saying I do understand why in something like this there would be. Plus, sometimes the artist is not in and of themselves Christian, and they aren't sure how to give it that look. I've seen that too, especially on things like Nintendo games. The effort doesn't offend me, I guess, is what I'm saying. Orthodox versus Catholic is a decision. Lutheran is just why even bother. Okay. Okay, now this is just looking like a giant keyhole. That's a little weird to me. Yeah, asking a Japanese person about Catholics is not going to tell you much. Battle to the death. Well, most of the time, yes, this is true. I'm not picking a camp. I'm just going to let you guys battle that out. You have a blast. I I am not going to pick. I get where you're coming from aesthetically. Um, but I do think different people can have their own feelings about what they find beautiful when they worship. I'm not gonna sit here and dictate how they would go about that. But I think it's awesome that you know how you feel. Um, that could be a fun like debate and chat, to be honest. I have no issues with it. I have been in a lot of different kinds of churches. Probably the prettiest that I've personally been in have been like the Russian Orthodox. There we go. Cathedrals are nice though. I've been in some very pretty cathedrals. And they tend to be Catholic, although I have been in Anglican cathedrals. I think it's just like an abstract design that if you look at it from further away could be a person. It could be like a very stylized Virgin Mary. I don't know. When you zoom out, the colors blend very well. I think so. I'm really impressed with the the brickwork and the banners have really neat details too. I'll just do it this way. That'll be easier. Looks like they are just doing a meaningless symbol to me. have to wait and see. Well, yeah, and I doubt that I will finish it tonight, but I'll do what I can. I mean, honestly, I started with Whiskerwood a little bit, and then I just dropped it. Because I wasn't wanting to play, but I was trying to see something because I'd looked at some videos over the weekend. And I was trying to plan when I went back in. So I did that before people came in. And then people came in. Yeah, that did not last long considering when I got here. Yeah, no. Well, I was trying because the mushroom farming was not triggering last time. And I went online, and from what I could see, it absolutely should have been triggering. So I wanted to go on and just see if, like, stopping and saving and going back in was what needed to happen, or if I was really doing something wrong. I do think I have to get the angle better, but it definitely made a difference to save and quit. And sometimes that's just what has to happen. So I'm glad that I didn't just sit there and keep beating my head into a wall last time. That means I lost an entire in-game year of growing mushrooms, and that is frustrating. So I will definitely want to be working on that tomorrow, and I might just start a new game. So I'm thinking of going in and trying to see what I can do about that, but then also potentially just starting an entirely new game now that I have a better idea what kind of prep I'm going to need to be doing and stuff. Because at some point you got to play it a bit to kind of know what you're trying to do. But maybe that's just me. When I'm playing a game like that, I drive my kids crazy because I stop and start it several times before I figure out what strategy I want, and then I just go for it. Why not try Played Up or Dungeon Defenders if you're bored of your current roster of games? I'm not bored, and I was already thinking I needed to pull in Dungeon Defenders. Played Up, I think you have to play with somebody, and I'm very open to that. Actually, I have another one too. I know you're mentioning those because you gave them to me, which is very sweet, and they are going to absolutely get. I was just thinking about Dungeon Defenders literally today. But the I was thinking more Wednesday-ish. But the what I was actually thinking about maybe messing with first is I did get myself that, what is it called? It's not float. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Hold on. Why is the name not coming to me? Library, not wish list. Show me my library. Library. Well, show me Dungeon Defenders. I've got repo. Why won't it load? Oh, I hate the app sometimes. Okay, how did I get that game? Oh, now I'm upset. I bought that specifically over Christmas. You don't have to, but it's much easier. Dungeon Defenders it's such a fun game. You'd hopefully love it. House Flipper? Hey, you really get into it as well. The Steam app? Yeah, it is terrible. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Steam app to see what the name of the one I did, and I'm not seeing it. Now I'm getting annoyed because everything else I bought over Christmas is here. I even put it on my computer. Okay, hold on one second. It won't let me reduce. All right, just give me a sec. Now this has gone from vaguely annoying to Raft. I got myself Raft. I thought that could be funny alone and then still easily bring in other people later. But Dungeon Defenders is on my short list and I am planning to get to it. Steam app, you haven't downloaded the actual Steam client or something. I'm confused. Raft. Yes. The Steam app is what I was talking about, and I had to just give up and look on the computer, which is a pain in the butt while I'm streaming, but I got frustrated enough to do it. Never played, but here it's fun. Yeah, it's supposed to be the food dynamic is the part that's supposed to be a real pain in the butt. I wonder if there's a setting for that, and I'll look at that first probably because I think that would drive me insane. When you're playing with a bunch of people, one person could be fishing, one person could be getting stuff, one person could be cooking, but I am one person and I have no idea how that translates to an individual. But I would like to learn to play some of these games so that as fun as it is for you guys to watch me fail when I play it with someone else, I want to get to where I can I want to get to where I can be productive and have fun with the games when I actually play them with other people. Because that would be nice. Yeah, I just like when I played Peak, it was fun, but I had to get carried around my whole stream by Nameless, which is moderately embarrassing. Um, it's not really that embarrassing once, but if I am like that several games in because I can't play it enough to learn, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that guy. It's only funny so many times that it's like, okay, this is just like, why are we watching this person? So I want to start getting some of those to where I know they're more fun with other people, but I play them enough to kind of get the feel for them. Another one I really like is RV There Yet, but I haven't got that one. I don't own it. I was looking at its early access and so on, and I wasn't sure that that was a good option at this point. But House Flipper, when I'm on a House Flipper gig, don't you worry. I will play House Flipper. Yeah, being carried can get old. Absolutely. I have Steam running as administrator on my PC. Works like a charm. Oh, Steam runs your PC. That's awesome. I mean, that's one approach. Anyway, I did not forget about Played Up or Dungeon Defenders or House Flipper. House Flipper, I got that in early access. The game that Artie keeps playing was the one I purchased, but I got it on Atlas's account. So then I was like, great, now I've got all these upgrades and it's not even on my own account. And I was already complaining to them that I was going to go buy my own copy while it was on sale because I was annoyed that I didn't have my own game now that I have my own account. And then you gave it to me. It was like perfect. It was really, really sweet. You didn't know that, but I did. So it made it extra sweet and you didn't even know it. Stream runs my face. Schedule what? Yeah, not my plan. I've looked at it. I don't think it's my jam. Stream runs my PC is greater than my PC is streaming. Lamau, ha ha ha. Yeah, I got the garden update. I got the home, like the home. What was it? I was playing it a lot through the Apocalypse one, I think it was. And then I just was busy and I wasn't really messing with it a whole lot. But I know for a fact that's one of those that when I get into it, you guys are going to get so sick of it. It is, I love it and it will happen. But it's kind of something Artie's been doing, and I had told her, you know, I'm gonna let that be your thing right now, because I'm not in the mood at the moment, but I loved that game before anybody else, and I wanted my own copy. And now I have it, and I will use it, and I will be adding all the DLCs. Which is probably, I don't know, something wrong with me, but it will be happening. And if I don't annoy you guys too much, it will happen on stream. Artaku likes it too, yes. Yes, Artaku likes it too. Are you guys back from... Nope. My stream is lying to me again. Woo, woo. Hopefully you guys are back soon. Hey you. They have ads. Hi. Gosh, every time you guys come in, it's so freaking cold. Aww. Aww.
It's like, it's not
She's like, don't take me away from the heat. I don't want to be in there. Yeah, welcome back. Yes, thank you for coming back.
Well, I love you.
I love you too, honey
I
bunny.
feel guilty for taking you to bed at the same time as this one. Don't give me that look.
She's had plenty of time. Anyway, no, I am very happy to have House Flipper for myself. That was awesome. And yes, Artie likes it now. She kind of liked it when I first got it. But then she was like, one night she's like, I just really need something to stream tonight. I promised him a new game. I don't really have anything. I was like, you could do House Flipper. She goes, I don't know. I was like, that's fun. Give it a go. And that's all you wrote. You've seen how that went. Next thing, it's, Mom, I need the money for the Mars update. You want the Mars update, right? Mom, I need the money for the blah, blah, blah update. You want the blah, blah, blah update, right? Ah. I thought Hedge would go nuts for Played Up and Art would enjoy House Flipper. Lol. Played Up, you all share one screen on PC too. I play all the time with little brother. Yeah. I definitely have an interest in Played Up. I have watched way more streams than I care to admit of Tango and Skiz and fill in the blank other person of the moment. We have spent many hours laughing tremendously. But I thought that was more of a play with somebody game. That's all. Hi, sexy mama. How you doing? I'm fine. You're up late. If it goes on a big sale, I want to gift it to everyone. It's a fun party game. Well, it will help if we can get another computer. It will really help if this computer still works. We are working on that. But for some reason, they also like eating food. I'm finishing off up to this point.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just saying hello.
Hello. Gore wants us to all have Played Up, apparently. He thinks it'd be a fun party game for us to play for them. Which it would be, but I think more computers matter. If it makes you feel better, I got a new PC and it has been nothing but a headache. Congratulations, Knight, and I'm sorry it's been nothing but a headache. We are working on it. I don't know what to say. I'm just going to go ahead because I got to put that all in black anyway. Let's just get all this color in here. I am not using it. Oh, no! You know, getting a new computer is... That's the problem. That's what I hate. I mean, I used to just start instantly taking out everything that I didn't want. But then sometimes you find out you need those things and then it let you take it out. And in the old days, then you'd have to reinstall them with drivers and the whole thing. So then I get to where I leave everything in there just in case. And then I realize years later I still have crap I don't want on my computer. It's awesome. Hey, you.
I was just waiting to say good night.
Aww.
And I have a migraine.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very close to done. If what you need is mom.
My brain blanked when I came in to say goodnight.
Okay.
Because of the migraine, you know how it does that?
Yes, it does. I'm working on it, but it's just so annoying. Having PC is like maintaining a truck sometimes. Personal computer, not pancreatic cancer, right? Uninstall McAfee to uninstall McAfee. Oh, gosh. I don't want to talk about McAfee. Oh. I hate McAfee.
Well, good night.
Well, good night, baby doll. Not quite there, but she can feel the mush coming. I'm getting there. At the same time, I'm having a lot of assistance this evening. I don't know. Disconnect from the internet before you uninstall. Uninstall. I have tested it. It adds viruses. I don't know how much I dare say online, but McAfee, I don't care for it. Knight, would you download a car? I have tested it. That sounds like a Tron thing. All right, once I finish this piece, we should have a far better idea what they're looking at. In theory, I would, but I don't have a 3D printer or an ED. Well, yep. I feel like McAfee should never be on a pre-built computer. I think that's nice and neutral, right? But then I'm not a big fan of Windows either. At the same time, OBS, I like using OBS, so you end up kind of Joy McCaffrey, the guy who made it, hated it apparently. He literally said he had access to government computers and was tapped into everything. Actual spyware, yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of McCaffrey. But what do I know, right? I'm just some dumb, fluffy-headed VTuber. Who forgot to turn the fan on. I'm going to be in so much trouble later. Oh well, I'm not going to say anything right now. Maybe they won't notice. Doop, doop, doop. Trump should make an antivirus. Would go crazy. He literally said it. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Trump appreciates you giving him more jobs to do because he clearly doesn't have enough things to do yet already. Alrighty. I think Oh! Blah, get the crazies to brick their PCs. So, yeah. Oh. So, it looks like what they did is a take on the sword. But also, I have seen very old, like where it's the mother, like the Virgin Mary, where you have a very general middle, but then there's always the veil over the whole. And I have seen pictures done in this style. So, is that? Gore, go to sleep. Once you want to install it, immediately brick your PC and a blue screen JPEG of his mugshot permanently haunts your screen. Ah, Gore. Keep it in the trigger worms, dude. Oh my goodness. Yep, it's full of sauna worm. Oops. Oh, I'm messing it all up now. That's what I could do for doing this last little piece fast. I have so many things I don't even put in there. Because I am trying not to be like super political, but they're just plain funny. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I can't leave it without that bit done. That just would drive me a little bit crazy, but anyway. I don't know, Knight, does that pass your approval at all? You hate it? You like it? You're not sure still? I'm not doing more tonight. Gotta bar it off from the youngins. Still not sure. Here, this one turned out good. We'll look at the rose again. I liked this one. There are a few things I think it could be, though. Yeah. And we'll do the honeybee. Who doesn't love a honeybee? You don't? They sting your nose? They keep you out of the tomatoes and the cayenne? No. Alrighty. I do like the bee. It turned out really nice. Alrighty, guys. I am tired. I don't know how tomorrow's going to go. I'm planning to stream, but this week is going to have some weird stuff happening, so I'm going to try to keep it from impacting my streaming schedule, but reality might just be an issue. If it is, I'll put it in announcements, but my plan for the moment is to do Whiskerwood tomorrow night. I know, it's not the dungeon game or any of the others that you gave me, Gore, but Wednesday's the day I was gonna do something different because I've started doing Whiskerwood on Tuesdays, so I'll try. If you can play Played Up again, I guess I could try that on Wednesday. You can put your preference in my chat or in Discord, but I just want to try some of those multiplayer games alone so that I'm not completely so hopelessly inept. I do like to have a decent showing, but they are different games that are run in a different way. I just have to figure them out. You're always free to message me on Discord, Steam, and we can always figure something out on Steam Day or not. I'll help. Well, if you want to stream with me, I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't care. Wednesday's my plan, but like I said, I cannot promise. Less inelegant flailing. Yes. I mean, I don't mind entertaining you guys, but I still want to have some kind of showing that doesn't have people going, why is she playing video games again? Because figuring it out with other people while streaming and watching everything else, my brain, I don't know. Learning new skills. I need to drop one thing to pick it up, I think. I don't know. Yeah, right. That won't happen. That family never stream with others. Kenny, are you sad that I haven't streamed with you? Have I hurt your feelings? Anyway, I want to get some of those games going better, and then I do want to start, like in October, I was starting to do a once a week play with other people if they wanted, and then we had all the issues with the electricity, and then it was the holidays, and it just wasn't a good time to start. But I have a bunch of new games that are really good with other people. We've got Raft, Played Up, Repo, Peak. So I definitely want to start picking that up again. I hate being a burden. And then it's my stream. That's weird to me. So I do want to try them a little bit solo and then start inviting other people to join me. So, but if there's anyone that you want to watch me fail with others, particularly, speak up in the Discord or here, and I'm open. Kenny, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. Why would I care about that? Also, I came in stream last time and had to leave so fast. My 20 stream steaked at. Oh no! I'm sorry. Do I need to stay on so you can get your streak going again? Here, I'll hydrate. Don't oh no me, lady. It was fun listening in. Have a great night, guys, and God bless. Sounds like a plan. Okay. No, don't stay for nothing. It's not nothing, Kenny. You're not nothing. But I am done doing my actual stuff. Wait, Gore. I did something. I couldn't get your answer on it, so I just did it without you. I was like, is it winter yet? Nobody would answer, so I did this last time. We officially did winter. I'm nothing without the green idiot. Okay. Alright, now you can go, Gore. Bye. I almost went in the mansion last time. But you weren't around, and I thought that would make you sad on Friday. So I ended up traveling over 5,000 blocks from my base. So I'm probably not going in the mansion again right away. I waited for you, though. Very, very nice. Reminds me of home, Lamau. Good night. She keeps assuming that's a tree, by the way. Okay. Do you have your streak yet, Kenny? Have you got your 50-point thing that clicks on and lets you start your streak again? Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's a 0. I know, but if you're starting it again, I was trying to be nice. All right. All righty. 0 is a lovely number. Yes, it is. I got pretty high with our takus at one point. Honestly, yeah, go to sleep. Triple digits. I feel like it makes me really mad because if I end up getting a streak, I've noticed the higher the number that gets, the longer it makes me stay on to keep my streak. And that ticks me off. Or it's harder and harder to get into the thing. And I don't know why they care about streak anyway. But to have one and then have it not happen because it won't let me into the stream on my app, no matter how much I tap it, and I'm not where I can get onto it in a computer, that ticks me off. I was like, if it matters, let me in. If it doesn't matter, why do you care? Yeah. I think I'm grumpy with Twitch this evening. Understandable. But then when I do get on, it's making me go longer and longer before it counts it up. It shouldn't be that long. It should just be like 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes or whatever. It should be standard. Maybe it is, but that's not how it seems to act on my phone. All right, guys. I've given Kenny time to get up to 1 maybe. I do want to go to sleep, and I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Tomorrow night is Whiskerwood. Really? 1 to 5 minutes is what I've seen. Maybe it just feels like forever. Maybe I'm impatient. Sometimes it bugs, but reloading fixes it. Well, when I'm in places with low data is where it's a problem. Bye, Whimsical. Goodbye, Night, which is a lot of places in the country. I know that might shock you. I remember getting over a year with Ultima. That's so cool. Very cool. Especially because he streams twice a day. What the heck? Yeah, Twitch bugging out. Take care, folks. Be well. Yes, be well. Everybody have a good evening. I will hopefully see you tomorrow, and good night.